view of Alex Atkins, in particular the 2-10 season. But Alex Atkins is a really, really good coach. He's very similar to the offensive line coach. Matter of fact, to the T. Also, how you got your top O-line committee, Solomon.
Yeah.
African American offensive line guy, Omega Psi Phi. Just all kinds of similarities that both of those guys have. Atkins did contribute, but Mike Norvell was the primary play caller in that 10-3 as well as the 13-1 seasons. So it just didn't work last year, and for a myriad of different reasons. But Alex Atkins is a good coach. He is now, as far as a developer of top talent, it'll probably just remains to be seen. Our recruiting was not to the level that most fans would want, but I do think Alex Atkins is a very good coach.
What is the benefit of having a fullback on your offense? So I don't know if you saw this, but Jack Pyburn, who's from around your area.
Yeah, Jack Bowles High School. I know Jack.
Okay. Yeah. So Jack, obviously friend of the channel, has been on the channel. And I don't know if you saw at the end of the game, LSU puts him in at fullback and has a huge block to spring LSU's only big run. So I wanted to get the foremost expert at the fullback position, someone who's played the fullback position at a high level for a legendary coach and Coach Bowden. What does a fullback bring to an offense?
Well, it's versatility. Almost all teams have them. They call them a move tight end or a jump tight end, H-back. Actually, even one of the funniest things that I talk about Mike Norvell's offense, when Mike Norvell, oh God, I always forget the kid's name. Right now, it's Randy Pittman is that tight end. Jaheim Bell. When Mike Norvell had Jaheim Bell, the offense moved differently. It's a guy who's typically either too short of a tight end, or they're not big enough but quicker offensive lineman. But the way that the defense has to adjust to it, they have to either treat it almost like having 12 personnel, or two tight ends and one back, or if you do that, you're getting bigger, or you're going to make it to where you're going to be smaller. You're going to treat it like 20 personnel, which is traditionally two running backs. So you have a guy coming out of the backfield that can block, run, or catch a pass. Makes you have to really check tendencies of what that team's able to do. Now, going downhill to block a linebacker who's coming downhill puts you at another advantage when you're trying to run the ball, in particular in short yardage situations. When you think about a lineman, they're in a stance, snap the ball, they're going from zero to have to go try to hit somebody who's faster than them and coming downhill. Well, you let the bigs handle the bigs, and you got another guy similar size, similar speed that's really to go right downhill and smash you right in the mouth. And that's why I like the position. I think it makes you better. And Jack, especially when you got a guy who plays defensive end, who they typically enjoy doing that because they're used to getting hit. So now they get to go just with no other responsibility. Yeah. I don't have to worry about if this guy does this, if it's a pass or run. No, I'm going straight to demolish this linebacker. And in today's game, where linebackers are no longer, like when I played, linebackers were like 250, like 260. Yeah. They're 200 pounds now. When
they had neck rolls. It was like Al Wilson and those guys, the dudes that can end your life. But now linebackers are.
I'm taking them guys out the club. I'm escorting them out the club, man. They had a rough night. I used to, when I think about guys who have been undersized when I played, a Vilma, and there's clips that people were like that show me of whooping Vilma's ass.
Oh, Jonathan Vilma?
Yeah, don't get it twisted. That's a ball player, man. That's a grown ass man.
That guy's about to say, man.
Yeah. That's a grown ass man. But if Vilma came down, and I told him, I said, if you run a 4-3 in that hole, I'm going to cut the piss out of you. And he came downhill, and I just, hit him right in the knee. I said, now, when you run a 4-7, we're going to meet in that thing mano and mano. The problem is I had the advantage at that point. But just, it's just fun. It gives you a different level of physicality when you have a fullback. As you see what the Steelers are known for being physical traditionally under Tomlin. Seattle Seahawks put a fullback in there, putting backs and asses on grass, and that's
Yeah.
kind of, again, it just makes you a lot better, man.
Well, it's fascinating because, like, I think of that Jack Pyburn. So have you seen the play yet?
No, I haven't seen the play, but
Okay,
now
all
that
right.
you
So
said that, I'm going to go look it up.
okay, so this is your pinnacle play. So, big game James joining us, former Florida State fullback. You hate Florida more than life itself.
Yeah.
So a guy from your area who was a Florida Gator transfers to LSU, a school you like,
Mhm.
and he has a game sealing block. Well, the game was already sealed, and he just mows over a Florida Gator defender. It was your perfect play, the first fullback play LSU's run all season. So shout out to Jack making a big play. I want to have you on to talk about Florida State as well. Okay. Florida State's my number one team in the country. No one's played better than them. No one has a more impressive win because I do think Alabama is still good.
Alabama's still Alabama.
Yeah. Florida State should be number one.
I'll take you. I appreciate you saying I won't. I'm just superstitious. I'm superstitious in it. I don't want to take. Give me the accolades when it matters.
Yes. Okay.
Right now, we got to eat what's on our plate. Don't get it twisted. Kent State is, whatever.
Right.
Miami coming up. Or I tell people this: my energy will completely and mood will completely change depending on how we play against Virginia on Friday night in Charlottesville. If we go out there and we dominate them in the manner in which a top team should dominate and don't play with our food, as I like to say on my channel, I'm going to start telling some elite lies. Because we're still coming off of it. Even though I never believed that they were a 2-win team, you are what your record indicates. So we got to get some of that loser blood out of there. We're still kind of getting that out of there. So I think, but I am very impressed with what they did. And what made the Alabama win even more impressive was the fact that traditionally Alabama's been one of the more physical teams in the nation. And I think we threw 10, maybe 14, 15 passes in that whole game. Like, we ran with the quarterback, with the runners and everything else. We ran at them. And that Gavin Sawchuk run was incredible. Just running, just did not want to be denied. My position coach used to call it AFOC, accelerate feet on contact. Like, when you hit, you don't stop moving your feet. In fact, he said that's when you move your feet more. So it was they definitely are exciting right now. I hate to give a former rival credit, but I give props where props are due. Right now, Thomas Castellanos is having a similar effect to what Cam Ward had for the University of Miami last year. He's not as good of a passer as Cam Ward. I'm not saying any of those things. I'm just saying right now his energy is a lot different than what we're used to seeing what we've been used to seeing outside of Jay Trav at Florida State.
See, I didn't think that Florida State would be as impressive as I've seen up to this point. And I hate that I was like that because, as you know, I've always been a Florida State guy because of my love for Peter Warrick. He was my favorite college football player growing up. Not LSU college football player. But I'm a huge Gus guy. And Gus has just completely revitalized everything. And I look, Miami tailgate ticks available. Let's go. Yeah. I'm pulling up.
We're gonna have a big tailgate.
I'm pulling up.
There,
baby.
all the. If you're a Florida State fan, actually, you know what? I'm not gonna hold you because I got a good relationship with a lot of my. If you're a fan of football, and you want to give some old players some love, it'll be a lot of old players. It'll be a lot of us old gray beard guys out there reliving moments, telling lies of yesterday. But
I just want to shake Peter Warrick's hand. That's it. That's all.
Man, that's
even though he's been on PHL because of you, and it is an LSU bye week. I'm thinking about this here.
You come over, man, and I will make sure you are taken full care of.
So for the youngins that have never watched Peter Warrick, he was Jamar Chase before Jamar Chase. He was just a freak. But yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really bullish on Florida State moving forward because I do think Alabama is really good, even though they've not played anyone. Your overall thoughts anything that has taken you by surprise up to this point through the first couple of weeks of college football? Or has there been anything?
Well, South Florida up until even in South Florida, I mean, Miami pulled away late like they did last year when they played them. South Florida plays people tough, man. Like I was very shocked. That coach right there should be number one on a lot of bigger schools' hot boards, CNNs. But the other big shock is this. All these firing the coaches so early, it does absolutely it doesn't having been a part of the Jimbo. So when Jimbo left, so I was a tag, and so being a part of two coaching changes, right, and having to cover it. One thing I found is firing a coach early doesn't do anything for you. Like you don't get like you're not gonna get like Florida is because and again, if Miami does what I think they're going to do to the University of Florida, you can see another guy get fired, or he's a dead.
I can't believe game day's going there though.
It's game days. I'm actually grateful. Not so much. I don't want to hear Miami talk about how we're the box office boys and they can barely sell out their stadium, but they're going. Everybody loves to see an execution live, and that's what the hope is that we bring enough attention. They probably petitioned for it, and at the end of the day, it's still a rivalry. So you never know; those guys could actually have maybe some pride to come out, but. Napier's going to get fired. They fired Pride. They fired Foster. I forgot. I think somebody else might have got fired. But what are you going to?
Foster and Pride were the big ones.
Oh, those are two. Yeah. What else are you going to do? Like you're not going to get Dan Lanning to leave Oregon in the middle of the season to come to you. You could have the same backdoor negotiations because one guy controls 75% of all college coaches, and and Jimmy Sexton. All you got to do is pick up the phone, call one guy, and tell him who you're interested in, and then he'll figure out what to do with the rest of it. I just think we blame kids with NIL, but then we treat the people who are their bosses like right now, Virginia Tech and UCLA are in a situation where a rule that should not happen until after the season is now in effect. And these guys haven't played 4 games. So they're all technically eligible for red shirts. Right. So you have a 30-day window to be able to pull any UCLA or Virginia Tech player. That literally that's going to cause a huge issue.
Are they saying this is what I was trying to figure out, that these kids could be immediately eligible?
They could immediately be eligible
to play this season.
We've never seen this. So there is
that would piss me off so much.
I'm saying there is nothing for this. But again, all of the problems in college football aren't because the young men are getting paid. It's because the old people aren't creating fair and balanced rules. And they're not upholding any of the rules. So that's the biggest crazy thing is. And just also, again, using my alma mater, how quick you can flip your fortunes when you do hit in the transfer portal. 2-10, unless you truly cover Florida State, you could not have picked this to happen.
I didn't know this, but I saw some random names in here. I didn't know you were live on.
Oh yeah, whatever StreamYard lets me do it. So I'm like,
so for those that don't know, you're live on Den Media Group. Hey, Den Media Group. I remember I gave out that Deion Sanders toy that no one actually ever sent me the address. It actually still is sitting over there. So, but
part of it is, like I said, Deion.
Yeah.
We like
and
Deion.
We love
Deion. we love Deion the player. We don't like Deion now, but he's gonna get some. All things could come back.
It will come back.
Getting a little humbleness right now. His sons are in the league, and hey, 10 years we'll forget all of this stuff, man. And Deion will be. I don't like Deion from my playing days. It has nothing to do with Deion the player. Deion the player is the greatest cornerback to ever play. Or one of them. I won't say he's the greatest.
Okay, Nole. I was about to say.
I won't say he's the greatest Nole DB to ever play because you have Leroy. You got Leroy Butler. You got Edgar. Nah, who am I thinking of? It's not Leroy. Terrell Buckley.
Yeah, okay.
Has better stats. Has all of the different things. But Deion is the more notable one. But I won't go into it on your show. That's a topic that
done it. You've done it before.
People ask me numerous times, and they're like, I'm not telling you guys not to like him. I have a reason to not like him. So
Colorado sucks now, though. So
and they do. It's awesome. It's not. I mean, it's like I'm good with that. Like, cool. But whatever. It's just. But I always want to make sure the cool thing about that StreamYard thing going live is that I want people to come over here and realize how great of a show you actually have,
I
and
try
get
my
my
best.
people to come on. So like, this is some good stuff here.
But you want to know it's strange, okay? Like my buddy who's lived in New Orleans his whole life. We went to dinner at what was the name of the steakhouse? I'll shout him out. Why not?
Well,
You're
my guy's not there anymore. He left to go to another steakhouse.
Oh, really? They
Yeah,
recruited him from the port. He went into the steak portal.
yeah. It's crazy. It's my boy
I didn't
Anthony.
know. I didn't know the steak industry had a transfer portal.
They had a
I didn't
transfer
know.
portal. Like he literally got actively recruited, and
Yeah.
I love a good steak. I
Oh
also
my
love a good
goodness.
presentation. And I'm not even gonna hold you. I had no idea what we were walking into.
I was
But
insane.
that was insane. And I went back because my 7-on-7 team, my national 7-on-7 team,
Oh,
my
okay.
finance, we played at Battle New Orleans. And I said, yo, we're going back. Gotta go back. And I thought it was gonna be less, but it was still just as great. It was the same. I love consistency. Consistency is amazing.
So we won't shout at the business because he went to somewhere else. But it
No,
was.
he doesn't dislike. It wasn't a bad move.
No, yeah, he just went into the
I
portal.
don't know his new place's name. If I want to shout it out, I want to shout out the new place.
Yeah. But I also don't want to shout it out because I'm a believer that you shouldn't shout out a restaurant for free if you never had it. So
Fair enough.
Because when we ate there, you were a massive foodie. Okay, I am too as well. So I wanted to show him some love for that, but I didn't know. Now that I think about it, my buddy was a manager of like a Saltgrass, and he got recruited to Texas Longhouse or what Roadhouse.
Roadhouse, yeah.
And I was like, dang, I didn't know the Stakes had a transfer portal, James.
Man, listen, man, if you're good, one thing I've learned about is if you're really, really good at your job and you have a passion, somebody will honor it. It might not happen like right away, but eventually somebody's going to see what you do, and they're going to want to do it. But like, man, that place, man, he laid it out, man. Like I ain't never seen a prawn that big. And
Dude, it was insane. It was insane. So, shout out to you, Adrian. I'm not against free publicity at all because I'm not I show speed like where my endorsement would really change your life overnight. But with food, I will never just say, "Hey, go to so and so," and the food just be total ass. I need my lips to be on that. Pause.
Yeah, you got to know the food is good. And again, like when I bit into the steak, I was just like, yo, I've never had bone marrow, like the actual, I didn't realize that bone marrow was like that. Like it was good. I am a true carnivore now, I feel like.
Yeah. So LSU's offense is struggling. Okay. And they don't have a whole lot of play calling experience. So we already discussed Alex Atkins and how much respect you have for him.
Mm-hmm.
How difficult is it for an offense to change play callers during the season from your playing experience?
It's typically not optimal, especially when you have a guy who wasn't a part of creating the language.
Yes.
So right now, Alex Atkins obviously was fired last year. He came over. And he was the only guy to come over. So, like, I'll give an example. Florida State, it was easy to change the offense, right, in the offseason when most of the guys came from the same place. Gus Malzahn brought his O-line coach, which is 5 of your positions. Your wide receiver coach, which is another 2 to 3, so that's 8. The only people are the 2 most useless positions on the football field. That would be your tight ends coach and your running backs coach. Not saying they're not good, just don't need to know a lot. Run where they ain't, block this guy. Technically, the O-line coach can coach the tight ends, and then your quarterback mind being Gus. So you got everybody, most of the people speaking the same language. Alex Atkins is the only person who knows his stuff. So he might have to kind of learn and figure out what people do well. And I think what gets lost in translations isn't as much as the play caller, but you need to have a game flow manager. Like, I'll brag on myself. The high school I coach at, my buddy Toby is the head coach. He's the offensive mind. I don't do that. I'm a game flow manager. We need to run the ball in this moment. We need to do this.
Oh,
Typically, that's what you want a head coach to do. But when you have an extra offensive mind, you can say this. So like me watching the LSU game, I didn't watch the whole game, but I watched some of it. I noticed you have some talent at wide receiver, but your tight end is actually pretty good. What I'm trying, and Nussmeier is going to do a "what the hell are you doing" moment numerous times in the game. The interception that he threw, I have absolutely no idea what he was trying to accomplish.
Yeah, I know, it's insane.
Besides lose the game, and so like that. Luckily, DJ Lagway would not allow him to take his honor, his glory away from him. Because DJ would have more completions if LSU's DBs would stop dropping the ball. Because I just count those as completions. One of my friends said they loved that. I said DJ Lagway just threw a 58-yard touchdown. It was the interception return.
Yeah. But I know the FSU group chats were lit.
You gotta take you have to have somebody that can kind of help keep you out of bad situations by giving you an audit of yourself in real time. And I think that's probably what you want Alex Atkins to do at this moment. Is to say, hey, we got to feel we have this going on, and your running game is pretty good. So
I have two more questions for you, if you don't mind. Can we get a quick break in?
No problem.
I got to shout out our friends at Laborde Therapy. James has probably had multiple injuries in his playing days. Laborde Therapy, they help out all different types of injuries, whether it be pickleball, golf, whatever. Please check out our friends at LabordeTherapy.com. Back after this.
Power Hour Network listeners and viewers, you might be consuming this content with that crick in your back that you've been trying to get rid of for so long. Take this as your sign today to book your appointment with LabordeTherapy.com. In the Lafayette region, there is no one that you will find that cares more about any different type of pain that you might have than the team at LabordeTherapy.com. Book today. Once again, that's LABORDE therapy.com, or you can visit one of their 5 locations all throughout the Lafayette region.
I want to shout out Ramon. This is actually a comment on your channel streaming right now. Greetings all. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, become a member, and share this with all your folks. Yeah, do it for both of our channels. Why not? This is what's interesting to me, and I wanted to save this for the end because I know you have some NFL stuff to get to. And I know your main thing is the Jaguars. Even though he did not have a good game today, I will defend Brian Thomas Jr.'s honor. And that question that was asked to Liam Cohen about BTJ duck and smoke. Liam, come see me. Come see me.
Well, I'm going to tell you this, and I'm critical of everyone. And BTJ is an incredible talent, but BTJ was not drafted to run digs, to run over routes, to run to go across the middle as much as he is. He was drafted to take the top off of the defense. So he's a post-go, a guy that you want to get the ball to quick in space. That's why you have Parker Washington. That's why you have I can't remember his name. Number 5 that came from Washington.
Oh, De'Ami Brown.
De'Ami Brown, yeah. So I watched it. Brian Thomas Jr., like what people don't realize is Trevor Lawrence will throw you in. I call them the infirmary balls. Like, you're going to need a medic. And I'm not going, I consider myself tough. Play with a broken jaw, play with a broken hand, torn labrum, all of the good stuff. Played with it. I'm not going to run into somebody running 24 miles per hour because my quarterback can't hit me in stride. Like, that's kind of what happened. So the tip where he tipped the ball, he's literally got a guy about to decapitate him. Like, you can't help but peek. And it's enough people who've been hit and had to be out for a couple of weeks because Trevor doesn't know how to control his arm. So I'll give him a little bit of grace on that because I can see him peaking. You saw Travis Hunter. He let a ball hit him right in the chest, and if it was a spear, it would have killed him.
I know.
And just a lot of it boils down to Trevor Lawrence. If everybody's dropping your pass, is it the wide receivers can't catch or you don't throw a catchable ball? We also have this thing that went viral. I hate to curse on other people's show, but there's only one way to get this out. And
Okay,
can I teach your people how to watch football from an offensive perspective? This is not, it gets more complicated. There is nuance, but from the vast majority, the NFL, college, high school, Pop Warner, 7-on-7, 5v5 flag, they're odd numbers for a reason. Because you can manipulate your flow to where you can have an advantage. Right. The offense should always have an advantage. And from there, we call it motherfucker ball. You throw where there's less motherfuckers at. And you'll typically have more success. Go look at BTJ's throw when the announcer literally says, if he's one-on-one, you throw it to him. Don't throw it to him when there's two. He's 2-on-2. I don't know if you guys realize this. 2 dark jerseys, 1 white jersey, there's an advantage to the dark. Now, you might have that cat. You can play cat ball, and he can go get that. But in the NFL, all them motherfuckers was cats at one point. So you're putting them in bad situations. He throws it into triple coverage way too often.
Dude, it drives me nuts, dude.
For it to be year 5, $50 million a year, I should expect more from you. And it's easy. Brian Thomas Jr., you know you got him under contract. You got to find something with him. He ain't going nowhere. Trevor, the team goes as far as Trevor's mind and arm can take them. And it's very frustrating when you should have won and the tradition of Jacksonville Jaguars losing to backup quarterbacks extended again.
Yeah, I know. And I take heed because I do Trevor film studies as well on my NFL channel. I think he's the worst quarterback in the NFL because you have to factor in cost and the worst thing in life. Den Media Group, if you never hear me again, I want this to stick with you, okay? The worst thing in life is not you being ass. It's not that. It's people thinking you're actually good, but you're ass. Because if I think you can actually be an elite quarterback in the NFL, and I think I'm just a Liam Cohen away from fixing your problems, that's worse than you just being Nathan Peterman. I know I got to replace you, and he's cheap to begin with. There's nothing. There's no other way around Trevor Lawrence. And as my LSU bias creeps in, yes, BTJ's got to play better. There were instances where little things such as MORs, which you know what that is, obviously. If they tell you got to release to the outside, you got to do it. Okay, it's what you're being told. It doesn't matter if the dude's heels are on the chalk. You need to do what's being asked of you. But BTJ overall is a team first guy, and I mean, obviously you have sources. You're around the team every day, so I might be totally misplaced there. But I'm just such an anti-Trevor guy. Like, it's gotten to be so bad, and I'm like, I just want this to work. I want the Jaguar fans to feel something.
Oh, they deserve it. They're best fans in the NFL. Like, they're so loyal. They deserve more. Like, and I tell people, since I've been here, they suck more years than not. I'll say it's just this is my 10th year in media. I've had two really good years from an NFL perspective. That was 17, and then what was that? 20 had to be 22. Yeah, 22 when we went won the first round of the playoffs. Lost
Chargers come back. Yeah.
Trevor had I'll say he frustrates me because he has all the tools to be great. He has everything that you want. He's a looker as a guy, but he kind of looks like Ann Coulter a little bit to me. But like, you know, I
my God,
I can't tell like if they're both. If him and Ann Coulter came, I've never seen both of them in the room at the same time. So,
what? Are you freaking kidding me?
Go
I
look up
did
the
not
picture.
think that I would ever have an Ann Coulter reference.
Go look at Ann Coulter. Do a side by side with Ann Coulter and Trevor Lawrence. There's some relation there somewhere. The frustrating part is that he has so many people who are locked into him being great in college. And I always joke with people, your college greatness has nothing to do with the NFL.
Nothing.
They're the same game, two different sports. Or same sport, two different games. The NFL game is time of possession. You'll throw the ball 40 times and still only have like 200 yards passing. In
The play
college,
disparity is crazy.
yeah,
Like you're running 60 plays a game.
yeah.
And if you're playing hardball, you're getting 8 possessions max.
Right. It's
Like,
not designed to have as much as college is. That's why I think college will always be more exciting and fun to me, even though I've gotten into the NFL covering it. But the Jags fan base is consistent. They're always there, regardless, and then all they want is a winner. There are old grown ass men right now who are like the third string long snapper from those late 90s teams that could go to any bar that they want. They have radio shows here in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
They have commercials. And it's like, who is this guy? I don't even remember him. I would have never bought his jersey, but people remember them. On top of the Fred Taylors, the Jimmy Smiths, the Keenan McCardells, they love those guys too. But they want you win here, they'll love you forever. And I love your Nathan Peterman reference. Nate's my guy. He traded with my boy Denny Thompson, as well as Lagway traded with Denny and some other stuff. But God trains mid quarterbacks.
No, stop. There's no way Lagway trained with Peterman.
Yeah, Cortex here in Jacksonville, they did his rehab. Like instead of having I don't care. I'm not a beat writer. I can't suspend my Lagway has an injury. And he's had one, and instead of doing the surgery, they tried to rehab it, and it's re-aggravated. And he did his rehab at Cortex in St. Augustine, Florida, and that's where Denny Thompson does quarterback training, and he's a part of that group. So he did some of the throws to get him. Carson Beck also trains with him as well. Denny's the quarterback whisperer. He has my partner does a lot of he can steal money from a program, but he can also give you like Anthony Richardson was his top client some years ago, and when he ripped the combine up, that was a big part of why. Denny was a big part of why. And my guy Anthony, I love him to death, but he is stealing money in Indianapolis right now. I love him.
Oh my God!
But
AFC South rival. So
yeah, I mean, I need him playing because Daniel Jones, who is the Trevor Lawrence comp, is actually playing out of his mind right now. So it's a little scary right now.
But okay, so Lagway, I got a message from someone who would know this. I'm not super plugged in at Florida, but saying that Lagway's hurt.
Yeah,
he's hurt.
Yeah, it's like a labrum. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if a surgery decision happens really early.
That's what I was saying is like,
so he doesn't lose the year.
It benefits all parties to shut him down.
Yeah, you're gonna get fired anyway.
Billy,
just do the right thing. You guys banged him up. That was again the physicality of the way LSU. That's why I like LSU, man. I'm a big LSU fan. Outside of like I told you, man, there's no rivalry. We just had to play each other twice, and I'm glad we came out 2-0 on that. But outside of that,
y'all deserved both victories as much as I hated.
I went in and watched. I watched LSU. One of my good friends, Brian Johnson, played offensive line there under Saban. He's one of the strength and conditioning coaches for the Jets now. But it's like I said, good ball. I'm glad that right now it looks like they're going to be you have the opportunity to be the toast of the SEC, and I would much rather you guys get that because Georgia fans forget that 1980 was it for them until recently. So now they're kind of they're getting out of control. Us, Miami and Florida, we argue amongst ourselves. That's a family dynamic. We don't need anybody else trying to come into our Twitter space and get in because we'll all form like Voltron and move you the hell out of there. And like I say, leave us be.
It's funny because I did the most like anti professional media thing in the world. I teased something before a commercial break, and I didn't actually get to that topic because I had to do my BTJ rant. Because I know Liam Cohen's watching right now. So Alex Atkins he's known for counter, the run play counter. There are coaching seminars before I even knew he was coming to LSU, where he's given seminars on how to run counter, which coincides obviously with Mike Norvell, who is, a counter genius himself. So LSU practiced some counter runs, but they've not really ran counter a whole lot. And when they have, it's not really been for a whole lot of success. LSU has tried to be an outside zone based team, but they like to do it just out of pistol, and it's predictable. So you are probably, out of all like my media buddies, you understand run game and run game philosophy the best. So let me just, because you don't watch the team every day, LSU's offensive linemen aren't playing that great, and they probably aren't that great. Do you think, without having watched them on film, that they should try more counter runs and not do as much outside zone? Because then this gets into like zone versus gap scheme philosophies.
I'm gonna go back to the MF topic. So basically, counter is just like when you're predictable. So it's a couple things. So MF philosophy, we're pulling two going away, faking the motion going this way to get the flow, so that we have numbers to the opposite of the play. That's what we want to do with counter. Very simplistic way to describe it. I joke with people. I say, is it counter? By definition, counter means basically to volley or do something in replace. Is it counter if we run it every play?
No.
Technically, it's just misdirection. Counter would be running where we actually are going. That would actually be the counter. So if you're right now, I think it could be setting up film because you've been winning. So you don't really have to mix it up so much. But when you're playing somebody else and they're always, especially if counter works best with outside zone, because again, but stretch. Outside zone is the stretch play.
Yeah,
so
stretch.
If we're trying to hit you wild, we're trying to get on edge. We're trying to get on edge. All we show is edge, 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 edge. Slide in the counter, it should bust, especially if you're going outside edge and then you plant that foot. You're supposed to aim backside A gap, B gap, to C gap. That's the way it's supposed to run. So even if a defensive end remains contained on the backside, if the D tackles are worth their salt and the linebackers, they got to go with the flow. So if you're pulling a guy, it should hit right in between that A and that B gap on the backside, and it becomes a thing of beauty when it's ran perfectly. Kind of sometimes I'll admit I'll watch YouTube videos on my porch smoking cigars of counter, and I get a little tear in my eye sometimes.
It is a thing of beauty.
It's so beautiful.
It really is.
I do think that's something that they probably, because what people don't realize is it's not. We get a chance to digest football in 30-second clips, 30 to 1 minute highlights. The game isn't that. It's actually, if you're only looking for big plays, it's a very boring game. But when you understand it's more of a boxing match than it is anything else, boxing is set up. You jab to make them open up to where you can counter. So what you're doing is you're giving data. So when a team, they're not just watching film of your last opponent, they're watching film of all your opponents, and they have it's just luckily AI. People talk about AI now. It's been around for years. They've been using it in football. Like, you know how long it would take to chart every play and give a percentage of how many times they blitz on this down and these situations. It takes forever. Now you can just upload the video, upload the film, and the computer does all of that for you. They use a lot of this data. So if all you show is that on 3rd and 3 situations, you're trying to get to the edge, midway during the season, you hit them with a counter, it should break because you haven't shown that tendency. It's a tendency breaker, which is why it's effective.
You're showing hope. I hope Joe Sloan is watching this, the LSU offensive coordinator. Let's see if it works. It's interesting to me because I use this word choreography all the time for counter, but it's essentially that. Like you need to be lockstep with everyone. Like if you watch LSU run counter, it's a mess. It's a fourth grade dance recital. You watch Tennessee run counter. What makes it really impressive with them is that their splits are so tight. They tighten the offensive line splits, and the fact that they never trip over another is crazy to me. Like it's absolutely crazy how they're able to do it, just so much better than LSU and a lot of schools.
Is about looking for work and try not and redirecting, and it just comes from you have to rep it. You have
Yeah,
to,
got to
and
practice.
if you don't, when it looks bad, it looks bad. Especially when there's instances where you may call counter left, and somebody hears counter right, and then
Oh,
both
dude,
guards
yes.
pull and they run into each other, and it looks like my son's 6U Pop Warner team, where you just got kids happy to be out there chasing butterflies. But I think the one thing I do want the game to go back to, and there is aspects again where you can make it more complicated than what it is, but it's really a simple sport of where men get cheered to impose their will upon other men. And at a certain point, if I'm where LSU is, I've recruited so well that I should just be able to come down and just say, you know what, we're running inside zone on your ass. Or we're going to run duo. The new buzz term is duo. All duo is gap on linebacker. That was stuff that they've been doing for decades. It just got a nice sounding name to do it. Basically, everybody's double teaming up to the next level. I should be able to duo people to death with what they have. And there's other variations of counter that you can work. They just they gotta know your personnel. I believe Solomon's a kid who could probably do it.
Yeah, but he's been a little banged up.
He's coming off of not playing his last year of high school. So
I didn't know that. I really didn't know that.
Yeah, he hurt his ankle same thing with my kid Tremel. That's probably going to end up getting a lot more playing time at the University of Florida than he anticipated. But he broke his ankle the second play of the second game, and we lost him for a whole year. And Solomon was similar out of Rains High School in Jacksonville. But the biggest thing is it's cool. It's fun to nitpick when you're winning, man. Because if you were defeated, it would suck a lot more, and then you would really be trying to fire Brian Kelly. But to be able to have things to say like, "Hey, we didn't play well," and you still won, because the truth is, and I was telling to a Florida fan, more in jest, because I don't want them to jump off the bridge just yet. I need them to be of sound mind, so that when we beat them Thanksgiving weekend, I can really do my best work. Florida did beat you. There's two things that I always say: top and D. Good top and good D will be successful in a lot of things in life. They beat you guys. They beat you down with time of possession, and then they outgained you in yards. And you would think, and then with a 5 turnover game, the score probably should have been about at least 14 to 21 points more. But you came out with a victory, and at the end of the day, all the W's look the same. I mean, hell, Ohio State won a national championship when I was in college, not just blowing people out, just winning when they had to win.
Den Media Group. Check them out. Big Game James. And if you are watching this, LSU has an open week. Go buy tickets. Go to the tailgate. Go enjoy
We have TVs at the tailgate.
Oh, it'd be fun.
So you don't have to go in the game, and I don't like bringing you're not supposed to travel with open containers. So like that. So I don't want to bring the liquor back. I need y'all to drink all the liquor that's at the tailgate.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Eat up all of the food. Stay there, watch it. We'll have 2 TVs at this Miami game tailgate, showing the game, Miami game, as well as other games that are going on in the nation. Should be a good. What was supposed to be good. Florida will be getting blown out by Texas that game as well. It should be a lot of good things going on. Again, It's football season. Enjoy football for as long as you can, because once December rolls around or January rolls around, college is done. You only got a few more weeks of NFL before that's done, and then everything is back to speculation and off-season stuff, and it gets really, really boring.
And then I have to go get a real job.
Yeah.
It is that weekend. These games have actually gotten a little bit more interesting. Texas A&M, Mississippi State, Vanderbilt, Alabama, the rematch that weekend as well. So there you go. Big game, James. We appreciate your knowledge. I appreciate your friendship. I'm happy to call you my friend. And I appreciate all your success, man. You're not just a former player that's done the media thing. You actually care about the art of content creation. I remember your little camera assistant had one of those DJ Osmos.
DJ,
dude, that thing is a beast.
Yeah, Jaden's gotten a lot of content off of that. He's a whiz with that. I mean, we're growing a great program. We've got some good stuff going. We're streaming high school games now. Mandarin High School I coach at. So anybody want to watch some Florida football? Friday we got a tough road to hoe. As my friend says, we play IMG Academy. It will be on Den Media Group Friday night, 6:30.
Oh wait, y'all are streaming an IMG game?
Yeah. You ever watch your own? I think we're going to be fine. We're going to put up a good fight. IMG is very tough, so we'll be we'll do that. We have my son does Trey's Take. He'll be starting that up again. Love the fact that the young people in there, but we got tons of content, tons of different things that we're trying to do. I love alternative media. I think is the best way to go. Shows like yourself, mine. Sometimes they're better and give you a more refreshing take than what you would see as your traditional beat writers. But I would have never thought I would be doing this as much as I hate media. But I do get the opportunity to be what I liked in media as opposed to what I had disdain for. And I get to talk trash to the people I don't like if they don't like that. Because I always tell them at the end of the day, if whatever I said makes you that mad, we can always fight. But I wouldn't. You probably don't want that. But like, it's just me joking because a lot of people put a lot of vitriol behind their thumbs, and I'm like, your thumbs can get you held accountable. But I do love that media is becoming more diversified, and it's great and it's fun.
Big game, James. We'll talk soon, brother.
All right, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah. Let's get a few more LSU questions. We always think James Coleman. I don't know if we're still live on his thing. Actually, I think we are until I actually sign off on this. So, Den Media Group, guess what? I'm still going to answer your comments. I really do think Florida State is good, though. And I am not a Castellanos guy. James is such like a team first guy. I don't know why. And it could just be my bias towards not quitting on your team the way that he quit on his team. But Castellanos saying sayonara to Boston College when he got benched just did not sit well with me. His red shirt was already burned. Now I'm kind of with him because I've got to be honest. For him to have talked so much shit and then actually take it to Alabama, with him not doing anything outside of Thomas Castellanos' things, was impressive. Like, it would have been something if, like, he just magically turned into Drew Brees. But no, he played Thomas Castellanos football and tore their asses to shreds. Let's go to Donovan and get an LSU comment in here. Donovan, one of my many patrons. Do I think the leash on Nuss has done more harm than good to his game? I'm not sure I do, but I've seen that idea floating around. So let's have a conversation about Garrett's pre-snap freedom. Okay. So for the Florida State viewers still watching, Gus he probably wants his plays to be run the way that he wants them to be run. There's a lot of checks in the LSU system, and it does get complex. It's a lot of things that need to get sorted and organized. That skill set to me is more valuable in the NFL. It's far more valuable in the NFL than any other level. Do I still think it's valuable in college? Yeah, but it puts a lot on the plate of one player. It really does. Okay. Now, with that said, I do think Garrett, his weaknesses are just are tough to overcome. They really are. Red zone turnovers are tough to overcome. But why were we in that situation? Well, Juwan Johnson fumbled the ball. It got knocked back a gazillion yards. Then we were in an extended red zone period where there really wasn't anywhere for him to throw the football. He throws it up to Caden Durham into heavy traffic and it gets picked off. So I have actually gone back on if that interception was as bad as the Texas A&M one. And I've kind of softened my stance now that I've seen the all-22 of the play a few times now. But yes, I do think Garrett can be a little jumbled at times. And I also think Garrett can be nonchalant. All right. All players, if they are good players, have times where nonchalance could step in. Okay. One thing that Jaden did at LSU that drove me crazy is sometimes when he would be running into the end zone, he would let up a little bit, which would open himself up for big hits instead of just running into the end zone. Now, it wasn't like he walked in or that he was showboating anyone. He would just kind of, I like to call it floating into the end zone. And because QBs are so protected, rarely would he actually, get hit. But sometimes his nonchalance as a runner would make you wince, right? Like just get down and don't do that. Garrett has nonchalance in his game when it comes to the turnovers and taking chances and trying things out there in games you feel comfortable. And when the offense isn't playing well, you're just kind of in effort mode. And what we need is more discipline. Okay. This is the one thing I would say about Garrett. Okay. And this is going to come off as something that not a lot of you are going to like, because when you mention this lovely woman's name, people go nuts for whatever reason. But Garrett, to use the famous words of Taylor Swift, the 13 era is over. You are wearing the number 18 uniform. That number is given to the guy who most represents what it means to be an LSU Tiger. It is a very important number. And you must take these snaps more serious. You can't throw those interceptions. Even when your back is up against the wall and your offense isn't playing the level that you want it to be playing, we can't have that. Now, here's the interesting thing. A number 18 puts the team first, always. That throw really doesn't benefit LSU. It really doesn't. Could it have magically been completed and Caden break 20 tackles because he's awesome? Sure. But in that spot, just throw it away. Just throw it away. Now, it doesn't help that Weston Davis got beat immediately, but just throw it away. Okay. But look, I will say that me being a Garrett defender, I feel like of the big nuts bust defenders, of those defenders, I'm more critical of Garrett than most. Everybody was criticizing that Garrett Nussmeier INT. Everybody. Okay. It's a problem. It's a problem. It's got to stop. It's got to stop. Now, the new AP poll was released today, And LSU was voted twice the #1 overall team. Pat Welter voted LSU #1. Reese Davis also voted LSU #1. Now, someone who's watching this channel right now knows one of the voters who had them #2. Kurt Bowles of the Houston Chronicle has LSU #2. LSU's got quite a few #2s, but they're mostly at the #3, 4, 5 range. There's a few 6s, a few 8s mixed in there. I'm a little shocked by that. I'm a little shocked. Let's go to Keith Louder. Welcome to the channel, Keith. He said, "Oh, please, we had 5 interceptions. We should have been winning by 40. Garrett's fluke interception was meaningless." Okay. What is the definition of a fluke? Well, it's something that's just random. Something that doesn't happen often. It's Leicester City winning the premiership. That's a fluke. It's a Baja man having a #1 single. That's a fluke. And we still don't know who let the puppies loose. But Garrett's red zone problems and interceptions, those aren't flukes. It's not a fluke. Okay. PHL, I know it's hard to see because they're watching on the Den Media page, but Den Media, Florida State. I know some of you are Miami and Florida fans. Welcome to my channel. You're still welcome here. Okay. And I'll be on Den Media Group quite a bit going forward. Carter, what teams do you think will be a problem that's left on the schedule? Oh, this is a good question. I should have brought this up to James because he gave me a lot of Patrick Payton intel. How's Patrick Payton looking? He's looking great. He's honestly looked pretty good. There's a lot of these almost sacks that come from being a defensive end. One thing he's really good at is batting down passes. He's really not done a whole lot of that, but he's been a presence. He's been good. And also he's been locked in. There were times, and he would probably tell you this is last year at Florida State. He probably really didn't want to be there. And that was before, what happened. Okay. The season happening. But yeah, he's locked in. He's having a really good season. He really is. But yeah, we should talk more about Patrick Payton. He has been underrated. And we did reference earlier the defensive ends with our blitz packages and DBs being the stars have kind of fallen by the wayside a little bit. So I'm glad you brought that up, Ramon. But for LSU's schedule the rest of the way, we'll see what the Sellers situation looks like. But LSU's schedule did get tougher. Ole Miss and Arkansas, their defenses are ass. Do we have the offense to take care of that? I will say, part of my SEC channel responsibilities is doing an Arkansas film study every week. Okay. That fan base has really supported me. Ole Miss's defense was one of the most undisciplined defenses I can remember in a very long time. And their defense was the best one in college football outside of Ohio State and maybe Texas last year. They were really that good. They're not going to replenish at the same level as those schools are going to. So LSU should beat Ole Miss in Southeastern. I really do believe so. Okay. It's going to be hard for, even with all of LSU's offensive problems, for Garrett to not get something going on that Ole Miss defense. I really do think it's that bad. Okay. Hey, welcome, Grant. Good to see you. Can we change his name to Joe 3-and-Out Sloan? Yeah, I look, I'm not going to call Sloan names for this reason. It's not because he's not working hard. Okay. I do think all right, we're back. Joe has worked his tail off recruiting Bryce Underwood. And what's happened has happened. Okay, I understand you guys don't want to talk about Bryce Underwood. I don't blame you. I don't know. So, it's because it's my phone. My bad. Okay, so so the Bryce Underwood thing happened. Jaden wins a Heisman. Denbrock leaves. This is your chance. This is your dream job, and you've not done well. So I know how hard it is on him, but you're getting paid millions of dollars at the offensive coordinator job that 90% of offensive coordinators would lead their job to have. So, I'm cheering for him. I think everybody here is cheering for him. But yes, the 3-and-outs have got to stop. And I don't think 3-and-out Sloan is that bad of a thing. If you want to call him that, go for it. But I won't do that. Dane, welcome to the channel. Hey, Dane, I don't just want to thank you for supporting me, but thank you for supporting my dear friend Blake Ruffino as well. I'm on with him on Tuesday nights on his channel. And, we tried to get him on for Sunday night. He really wanted to do it, but he had some family obligations. And there you go. And part of it is I think sometimes I am Mike Tirico. Seriously, in this instance, I don't look Italian, but I got a piece of Italian in me. Okay. I think I have a little bit of Italiano in me. Okay. And Blake is Italian. I just did an event for an Italian family, and I've always gotten along with Italians. I just love the culture. Okay. Call me Francesco Totti. Call me John Bon Jovi. The GOAT Italian is John Bon Jovi. It's my life. But thank you for supporting Blake, and thank you for joining the membership program. You get a bunch of extra film studies and so on and so on. Welcome. Okay. Now, I'm going to save this for last, and I'm actually really happy because my main recruiting plug just texted me. Okay. He's in the know. He's been a supporter of the channel. I won't say who it is, but he knows things. All right. The 2027 quarterback battle is interesting. So you have Joe Sloan, who nobody likes right now, other than so many quarterbacks in the recruiting trail, like Joe Sloan. They legitimately do. They like his style. They like him personally. The Nussmeyers love him, obviously. But I can tell you that there is growing frustration amongst some LSU staffers that the offense is what it is at this point. That is what I've heard. Okay. I'm not source guy, and I'm an analyst, but when you do this, you get info. So yeah, I think that shouldn't shock anybody. Okay. But there is some steam on Peyton Houston to LSU, the evangel quarterback who, to me, is the best quarterback of the three LSU is recruiting right now. He is the best. I like him better than Elijah Haven. I like him better than Colton Nussmeier. I honestly don't care of the three who LSU gets because there's a lot of different factors that we won't know about. The cost of whoever we get matters. The game plan for whoever we get matters. So many kids that commit to a college out of high school never actually play for the school. And there are so many quarterbacks who aren't nearly good enough to play as a true freshman. The kid at Cal is an anomaly. There's just not enough of those kind of guys. So I do think it's a little overrated to say, hey, we got Elijah Haven, we got Peyton Houston committed. We went through the Bryce Underwood thing. So that's part of the reason why I don't want to address this. But when this guy texts me saying that there's Peyton Houston, LSU steam, I believe it. Now, I've not called anyone else. This is just one person. He's not saying he is committing to LSU. I don't really pay attention to high school recruiting right now anyway until the commitment is actually done. But I will tell you that Peyton Houston is one of the best high school quarterbacks I have ever seen. He is one of the best I personally have ever seen. Do I get evals wrong? I get it wrong all the time. I get them wrong all the time. I get a lot of them right as well. And last Thursday, we had someone who actually does star rankings for 247 on the channel. And we got into a debate. And we came to the same conclusion that while Peyton Houston is 6 foot basically, and Haven and Colton Nussmeier are 6'3", right now at playing quarterback, the better high school quarterback is Peyton Houston. And that doesn't mean Haven's not good. He's good. That doesn't mean Nussmeier's not good. He's good. And there are benefits that they have that Peyton doesn't have. But I'll tell you this. This will blow your skull open. So for every quarterback that goes to LSU, I do an audit of their stats, how they performed, during the course of the season, how their teams performed, which I think could be a little overrated because in the case of someone like Cade Klubnik, his teams dominated teams so much that you lose valuable snaps as a quarterback. And Cade's obviously a good college quarterback at this juncture in his career. But I'm just telling you right now, dude, Peyton Houston is the real freaking deal. He is so damn good. Plays the game with a lot of creativity. Can layer throws. Has a lot of zip on his passes. Obviously can run. Is he a special runner? No. Special is Taylon Green, Lenore Sellers, Jaden Daniels. I would say he's probably a little, I would say he's probably like a John Mateer level runner. But he's good, y'all. He is really good. And I would take him number one. I would. But he's only a sophomore. That's why, you get the extra film and all of that. But quarterbacks commit a little bit sooner. I don't know where he's going to go. I've heard USC was always in the lead there. I have no idea. No idea. And right now, I'm so focused on our team and not a quarterback who probably wouldn't play here until 2028. He's a 2027 recruit. As a top 100 2027 recruit, you're expected to either start as a true freshman, which is unlikely, or start in year 2. Okay? Evangel competition is good. So they'll play like Neville, right? Which, obviously we know what we know about Neville and what they've done for our school lately. Is it like the fiercest thing in the world? No, because, if it was so fierce, how could one player put up 832 passing yards in a game? Which is a real thing that Peyton Houston did in a game. Okay. But going back to, and Dane, once again, thanks for the membership. Going back to the database, there is only one high school quarterback that had better stats than Peyton Houston had as a sophomore last year, and his name is Jaden Daniels. He is the only high school quarterback, and this is an audit of their senior year stats. Peyton Houston's senior year stats. This is his sophomore year stats going up against senior quarterbacks who have signed at LSU. In terms of total production per game, only Jaden was better than Peyton Houston. Okay? Only Jaden Daniels. He was kind of good. Kind of. And here's something that's interesting. You take Peyton Houston's 800 bajillion yard game. It was 900 total yards because this dude somehow magically ran the ball well in this game as well. You take that game out, he is still amongst the elites. His numbers are still Joe Burrow's high school senior stats numbers good. Does that mean anything? To me, it does, but in the grand scheme, high school to college competition is different. Peyton Houston isn't the biggest guy, so that's something you have to factor in. No, he's good, man. He's good. He's good. Now, Sibley says, put character in your equation. Well, I tried to get Preston Guy on tonight. He's interviewed Peyton Houston a few times. I don't know. Sometimes I don't want to know the prospects because I don't want their character to affect my evaluation of them. So, yes, I have a ton of buddies in the northern Louisiana area, but I also have people in South Louisiana. I also have gotten to know some in Garrett's circle. There's a piece of me that would love to have another Nussmeier because I am such a big Garrett fan. That would be really cool. It really would be. And Elijah Haven gives outstanding interviews. By all accounts, a really good kid. I also know he's interested in Florida and potentially leaving the state as well. I don't know what the Napier situation, but we'll see what happens. But y'all, if you really want to enjoy some high-level quarterbacking, go watch Elijah Houston. Go watch Peyton Houston play the quarterback position. It's good. It's fun. Now, is it hard to find full games? Yes, it's always hard to find full games. I will say, though, Peyton, if you're watching this, on your highlight tapes, please play the full play. Like he cuts he cuts the snap out, which I think is critical in an eval. but you can draw your own conclusions in some of the stuff he's still able to do. We got some Procter and Gamble merch. Yeah, Sibley, I don't know him. It does matter. Obviously, character at the quarterback position matters. Okay. Hmm. Now, all right. So this is one of Den Media Group's viewers. Watch him play Neville last week. Houston is the most legit quarterback in high school that he has seen in several years. Dude, he is the freaking truth. He is the freaking truth. And this kind of goes back to this Trevor Lawrence thing. So T-Law is like the antithesis of what Peyton Houston is, right? T-Law looks like a quarterback. He's 6'3", can run, unfreaking believable arm, looks great versus air. Peyton Houston, it's a little bit different. But when it comes to actually producing on the field, Trevor's going to give you something. He's good. But Peyton actually gives you everything. This dude freaking produces. Sometimes at the quarterback position, what your production is who you are. Quarterback is so hard no matter the level you play. Okay? Like, I'm telling you, the worst thing, this is the worst thing that's happened to the quarterback position. It's Josh Allen, who never really was like just this elite producer at Wyoming. And then his first year in the NFL wasn't really that great. And boom. And people say, well, Patrick Mahomes is a true one of one. No, it's Josh Allen. Because Mahomes produced like a mofo at Texas Tech. Baker Mayfield produced like a mother effer. Joe Burrow. Most of the best quarterbacks that go to the NFL, their numbers are so cartoonishly good, like stupendously good. There's not many guys who didn't do the 350 a game thing. There's just not many of them. So T-Law, in his first full year as a Clemson starter, had 2 300-yard games. That's it. Well, I understand he was at Clemson, and their defensive line was great, and Etienne and all of that. Did T-Law ever produce at an elite level? Well, it's kind of hard because, the 2020 COVID year happened, and that was supposed to be his prime year, and he was a Heisman finalist that year. But, like a guy like Cam Ward, I understand they have bad defenses. Cam Ward put up stupid numbers last year. Stupid. Sometimes the production is just who you are. And there's nobody in this class that has produced numbers like Peyton Houston as a sophomore. Yeah, we got some green names in the chat. Yeah, Dane, and that's the thing. He could grow some. But then again, like, I don't think he's as fast as Kyler, but there are some exceptions. I mean, Bryce Young won the Heisman. In the NFL, yes, but not college. No. Not as important in college. To me. NFL, yes. For a few reasons. One of which, well, actually, I won't get into those. I do think the most underrated thing that we don't factor in enough with the college and the NFL game. Let me see here. Oh, you want me to call him Pop Houston? Yeah, it is his nickname, isn't it? I like that Randy said, call him Pop Houston, Carter the Power. Okay. If he prefers to go by Pop, that's even cooler. I like him even more now. One Pop retires, another one comes. I love it. So, I lost my train of thought. No, that's all that. I totally lost my train of thought. You'll get this rant some other time. Oh, yeah. You know what's funny, Randy? I'm not in love. Actually, I like the name Power. It's kind of the brand or whatever. It's not my favorite thing, though. It's not. If I could do it all over again, I probably wouldn't let the Power be my thing. I would just, because I love my name. I really do. My real name was actually supposed to be Macintosh. So you could be listening to Power Hour LSU with Mac. Okay. It was down to Carter and Macintosh. But what happened was Steve Jobs called my dear beloved mother, and he was like, look, I'm building this computer brand. The intellectual property aspect of it, I know Mac, your soon-to-be kid, is going to become such a famous person. I don't want to, I don't want there to be crossover. So I went with Carter. That was it. That was actually, it was down to Macintosh and Carter. McCarthy's been sucking tonight. Who would have thunk? People overreacted to his game last week so bad. Mac made game films. There you go, Sibley. You and I are in lockstep on that. So Sibley and I are not alternate jersey guys. White top, gold bottom, gold domes. Purple jerseys versus the non-P4s. And one alternate per year. I'm also down for every now and then, like an alternate, like the Katrina 07 uniforms or the Fournette Golds versus Mississippi State. I'm down for that, or the Koshan Delays versus Arkansas. I'm okay with that. I am. It just last year was unacceptable. I'm serious. Like, that's our brand. It's what we are. It's a big part of who we are. In many ways, it is who we are. White top, gold bottom, gold dome. That's what we are. Did the gold top thing last year? Okay, cool. Then we did an alternate again. Then we did an alternate again for the bowl game. Oh, dude, it drives me nuts. But 88 looks good on Gooden. So there you go. All right. Great live. I didn't expect to go this long. Appreciate Din Media Group tuning in tonight. And Big Game James. Always a great guest. Okay. Now we got to keep it going. He pops in. We're really signing off. And the funny thing is, I do have to reset my screen. It kind of messed up. We're locked in. Van, I have a hot Detroit-style pizza. My chubby ass, well, I'm actually down to 196, is waiting for it. But you drop a 50 burger. We got to keep it going. We have the best offense. That's what I like to hear. We do have the best offense. If by best you mean let's run outside zone into the arms of a Florida defender. Okay. There is a piece of me that wants to jump into an erupting volcano full of Electric Eels and Nickelback albums instead of watching us run outside zone at a pistol. That is how I feel about the play. It's got to stop. It's got to stop. It's plaguing our nation. All right, so I'm going to go to this new window. I'll be right back. Okay. So y'all don't go anywhere. All right, let's do this. I messed up my screen. Okay. There we go. No, man. I'm locked in. Now, I want to talk a few other things about the LSU offense. We actually didn't get to quite a few things. Let's talk about Barion Brown only getting 2 targets, which is strange, considering one of our better pass plays was a deep comeback to him on the sideline. I think it's to the point now where Barion's been so good that only 2 targets up to this point in the season is unacceptable. Now, I do think hey, we need to get this guy 50 touches for us to be successful. I think that line of thinking is stale. But Barion and Aaron need to be our guys for me. And then Xavion be the kind of gadget guy. Okay. Now, this is important because Dame follows up. The offense has me so damn upset last night. I was missing Miles' short side option and toss dive. Maybe it was a Jack Daniels, where our most successful play was a Les Miles play, which is why we had a former fullback on with us a little bit earlier who is good friends with, I say good friends, it's a soft term, but he knows Alex Atkins, okay? And we talked about the differences of counter and all of it. So go back and listen to that if you want to, with the James Robinson. But look, here's the problem with the LSU offense. It's everything. 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 Except for Aaron Anderson. I will say, I'm such a big Caden Durham guy. He did make one big mistake. There was an outside zone run that we had blocked well, and he missed it. Okay, he missed it. Yeah, I was like, oh. And this has been a problem of the Brian Kelly era from a film perspective. Is there have been just too many of these instances where it's one guy making a mistake and it just completely dissolves the play. Whereas I like play calls where I am asking less amount of guys to execute something for the play to work. Okay. Here's a good example. A team that we are going to be playing here in a few weeks. You wonder why this past weekend, a quarterback by the name of Trinidad Chambliss took the SEC by storm. And this is going to make sense because we have the biggest name quarterback in the SEC, not named Arch Manning, on our team right now. Okay. But there is a guy by the name of Trinidad Chambliss, was the best quarterback statistically in the Southeastern Conference this past weekend. Trinidad Chambliss sounds like the lost member of Jagged Edge, not an SEC quarterback. And he transferred from Ferris State. Ferris State. Terrace State? Ferris State? Ferris State? A State? May State? I don't give a damn. He looked good this weekend. A lefty. Now, if you don't know who Trinidad Chambliss is, you don't even know what team he plays for, I don't blame you. I don't even know what state Ferris State is in. I would guess Illinois, because that's where Ferris took a day off. That's a bad joke. But I do owe Ferris Bueller's day off for my love of Seurat paintings. But that's besides the point. So why did Lane have so much success with the quarterback named Trinidad Chambliss? Because he ran simple shit. Things that he knows will work. Things that are quarterback proof. And Austin Simmons was the story. Left-handed QB who graduated high school in 2 years, graduated in college 2 years, already working towards his master's. Backup quarterback comes in and takes the offense to another level. Now, does he come back, Simmons? I don't know. We play him in a couple weeks. But why does Lane's offense work? Well, this goes back to Van's super chat. A lot of our plays require a lot of things that need to go right. Okay. Lane and Josh run a run concept that it still baffles me that not every single SEC team does this. Okay. And I'm just going to say this aloud because it's stupid to break this down just audibly. But what if I told you that there was a rush design that has a high success rate where not a single offensive lineman has to execute a single block? I think a lot of that would interest you, an LSU fan, because we can't execute blocks. But what if the design of the play is what opens the play up? Okay. those guys do a really good job of that. So this is what Lane Kiffin did a few weeks ago, and so far he's been the best coach in the SEC. Him or Kirby, either one. Or Elko, that was pretty impressive to win versus Notre Dame. Whatever. So Lane versus Kentucky is what won them that game. It really did. He did a lot of advanced thinking things that a lot of coaches wouldn't do. Now, it's not him being the total play caller of the situation. It's not just totally him. You give Coach Weiss a lot of credit. But to end the game, they ran those style of rushing plays, back-to-back plays. They just did them in opposite directions, and it ended the game where the only thing the quarterback has to do is hand it off. And the running backs just have to run the play. This same rush design is also what won Oklahoma the game versus Alabama last year. I want those kinds of plays to be run for our offense to work. A little bit more creative misdirection. So to Van Super Chat, I really do appreciate you. We have the best offense. I love it. Jack Daniels. When was the last time I had a Jack Daniels? We did hit a hundo in Super Chat, so we do need to give out an autograph card. Thanks to Van. Actually, let's... This isn't an autograph one, but it is a Jaden card. Oh, it's because of the green screen. We'll get this out. Grant, you are speaking my language. We still have some of Den Media Group's superstars in here. Why do people think I'm such a Gus Bus guy? So for the Den Media folks, my PHLers know this. I have always defended Gus Malzahn tooth and nail. If Gus Malzahn has 10,000 fans, I am one of them. If Gus Malzahn has 100 fans, I'm in that group. If Gus Malzahn has one fan, it's me. And I would pick up his bill at the Waffle House after he beats Miami here in a few weeks. He's that good. Are we getting some Sibley stories in the chat? Oh, Sibley, you can't be dropping these kinds of stories 2 hours into it. You can't say, I watched a former student win a golf tournament today, Scotty Scheffler. And another one, Bijan Robinson played for the Falcons. What a country. But here's the thing. Here's the thing you don't know, Sibley, about me. Is that I don't take up for criminals. And Scotty Scheffler, what he did a few years ago at that Masters golf tournament, was such a spit in the face of law enforcement officials. Oh, my God, that story was crazy. Scotty, if you're watching this, bro, you are a gangster. You are solid, bro. You are certified. Whenever I go to Scotty's neighborhood, I got to check in with him. Definitely cool. All right, we'll take a few more here. My best friend, Scotty Z. Love Scotty Scheffler. Gus is special. Gus is special. But guess what? All right, I'm going to use a comedy reference here. Gus is what open mic comedy really is, okay? He started off in high school. And Gus caught a big break. So there was a He went to Springdale High School in Arkansas, and they had a legendary class of high school recruits. They all fizzled out, and Gus was the only one to actually have like ridiculous success of all the Springdale stars. And he just rode that wave up the ladder, and that's where he is now. I have a lot of Gus Malzahn stories. A lot. I have friends that work for him. Great guy. Actually, I've never met Gus, so I don't know if he's a great guy. So I'll take that back. But I know some people don't like him a whole lot, but he's elite. He's elite. Oh, it wasn't the Masters? Okay. It would be a freaking Chelsea fan. It would be a Chelsea fan that has to say, well, actually, if you don't get your Didier Drogba loving ass out of here. I'm kidding. I'm a Liverpool fan. I didn't tell you that last time, Dustin, you're in here. But I grew up watching Chelsea. I modeled a lot of my game after Claude Makelele. I was a defensive midfielder myself. And I know, like, there's a debate. Is it Claude Makelele? Was he better than N'Golo Kante? Hell yes, he was. Now, Drogba, the Ivorian, was elite. But Frank Lampard will never touch the jockstrap of Steven Gerrard. Anyone that actually knows ball knows that. Anyone. Ask anyone that actually knows ball. If you want it, you will get blocked if you think Frank Lampard is anywhere close to the greatness of Steven Gerrard. Not even close. Frank Lampard is closer to Philippe Coutinho than the great Stevie G. No, you can't say anything bad. N'Golo Kante, the ultimate football story. This live stream took a lot of different directions. I blame Mr. Lathan. Oh, Grant, get out of here, bro. Were the Englishmen of that era overrated? So what? That would be, was Andy Cole overrated? Probably a little as a left back. I think Marcelo clears in terms of like world-class left backs. Would you take Andy Cole over Patrice Evra? I don't know. Was Wayne Rooney overrated? No. Despite Tom Brady's best efforts to strip him down, no. I'm trying to think of other like all-time Englishmen. You know, Stevie G does get a lot of the overrated things, and it's weird because my two favorite professional athletes that don't have Louisiana ties are Steven Gerrard and Derek Jeter, and they both are known as like all-time greats, but more known for their leadership. And then they're both nicknames are the captain, right? So I'm used to the Steven Gerrard, Derek Jeter is overrated arguments. Maybe so if you look at it through a certain lens. Like Steven Gerrard's not a tiki-taka Iniesta kind of guy, but I don't know if I could say he's overrated, though. I mean, if you win a Champions League at Liverpool, I mean, these Liverpool rosters now are so much better than that team we actually won in Istanbul in 05 with. But is it something that we never won the premiership with Stevie G? You know, he's always going to be, you know, linked to the mistake. But I don't know. I can't get there. I can't get there with the Stevie G overrated stuff. I understand I'd have to recuse myself from the conversation, but I included myself because it's my damn channel. Michael Owen was definitely overrated of the Englishmen of that era. And then obviously Paul Scholes would be another. I think Paul Scholes was properly rated. and then the Neville. I think part of the reason why Englishmen get so overrated is because they become such big TV stars. It's kind of the Alexi Lawless effect, but 10 times as much. But those players are better than Alexi Lawless. Not that hard to do, to be honest. But the truth is, were the English players of that era overrated? Yeah, because who dominated the Premiership? Well, it was the teams full of Frenchmen. The Robert Pires and Thierry Henry and Patrick Vieira Arsenal teams, right? But I won't ever block a Chelsea fan. I will block a Man City fan, though. Y'all are not allowed. Y'all guys, y'all should literally clip your toenails and eat them. Iniesta is criminally underrated? Is Pedri really underrated, though? I don't think Pedri's underrated. He won Ballon d'Or, right? So I don't think anyone that wins that award can say they're underrated. I'm trying to think of overrated footballers. A lot of center midfielders get this label. So like Tony Cruz gets that label, but he won 5 Champions Leagues. I mean, you can't in a freaking World Cup. Yeah. But yeah. So there you go. Now, here's what we're gonna do. Next 10 to 15. Or next 5 to 10, I'll answer as many as we possibly can. Once again, big thanks to Van for the super chat. Oh, okay. I'm getting Pedri and Rodri. So Rodri won the Ballon d'Or. Okay, so Pedri. Iniesta is properly rated. It just depends on how you look at it. I mean, the hard thing about Iniesta is that it's really hard to parse Iniesta's all-time greatness because you have to include Xavi. You can't really talk about one of those without the other. It's really the Stockton and Malone thing, right? They played their entire careers together. So we really don't know. I understand one played a little bit longer, but it's really hard to talk about those two players and then, compare them to like Luka Modric, if you will, even though his center midfield partners were around him a good bit of his career as well. But Xavi, Iniesta, and Messi is the best. Well, you can't really group those two. Most football diehards would say you would need to say it was Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets, and Messi, but it really was Xavi, Iniesta, Messi. Even though I played Busquets' position, he was great too. But those Barcelona teams are the best teams of all time. And I got to see them practice. It's still the biggest thing I've ever done on YouTube. When YouTube really wasn't even a thing, they let me go to one of their practices. True story. Not making that up. Wildest thing I've ever seen. All right. Yeah, I didn't know he was doing that, which is fine. I do that too because I do a football card show. Sometimes I'll just stream it to my own audience. So like Grant is a Den Media Group member. I could see it. You guys can't see it, but I could see it. So that's why you can't see their comments. I probably should have clarified that. So yeah, I'm giving Den Media Group free soccer content. I didn't know that they had people in there who knew European football. I didn't know that. Oh, it actually does make sense because Florida's a big soccer state, and the SC thing does help. But there you go. Great live chat. Van, thank you. He is the top super chatter. Dane is a new member. All our new super chats here. Alexander, I didn't think we'd do a 3-hour one tonight. Guitar Joe, George, Adam. Some people have already gone to bed. That's what I need to do. All right, y'all. We'll talk to you soon. What's the score of the NFL game? Tyler Algier gets into the end zone. Let's go. It is Power Hour LSU. Boom. Tonight we are doing. Rick says he wants to try out Cortez Hankton. Okay, so I'll answer this really quickly. So Cortez Hankton did get an interview for the Rams offensive coordinator job. Okay. It's important to note, though, just because you get interviewed doesn't mean they're actually going to hire you. And Sean McVay calls the shots. Oh, is that we got a Zach Wheats comment? But Sibley did super chat a little bit earlier. It's Barcelona and Northeast Louisiana. No. So, Southeastern, I don't know a whole lot about them other than they lost 24-0 to Louisiana Tech. So there you go. It is Power Hour LSU. Boom. Tonight we are doing Detroit style pizza. Let's go. Let's go.